How are we doing today? How are we doing tonight? Wherever you are in this great big world, I hope you're doing alright. Today is April 26th, 2019. And today we're going to talk about Nebiru. And why I believe it to be the planet Nibiru. Now hold up. I hear you saying Nebiru and Nibiru. That's the same thing. Yes, in my opinion, it is. Except for a few slight differences. And I'm going to go into that the best I can. This video was inspired by VK Jehonam's video about a week or so ago, where he talked about he invoked Nebiru. And despite my personal bias against him, his video got me to remember a personal gnosis event back in 2013. So, that being said, this video is inspired, and it kind of goes my way, because I connect Nebiru with the planet Nibiru. Now, why do I do that? Why do I put the 49th name of Marduk with PlanetX? Well, because there is no Planet X. You see, there's a theory where a long time ago there was a planet called Tiamat. Now, this was situated between Mars and Jupiter. And the planet Nibiru got off course, or what have you, smashed into the planet Tiamat, completely destroying it. And then it went on to its own little orbit that's not synchronized with our orbit, our solar cycle. It's on its own solar cycle. This is responsible for the supposed creation of planet Earth, as well as the asteroid belt between Mars and Jupiter, I believe. Don't quote me on the location exactly. But the way Tiamat was situated, the remnants of that planet created Earth. Now, Nibiru, the planet Nibiru. home to the Anunnaki. Believe it to be a starship to some. Some believe that Nibiru wasn't a planet, it is a starship. Thus is why it was able to survive the explosion of the planet Tiamat. Now, personally, I don't really buy that. And this is mostly Zachariah Sitchin's theories, which I'm kind of 50-50 on. Because I'm kind of meh with him as well. I believe his math was way off. And I'm going to get to that in my personal gnosis towards the end of the video. For whatever reason, the planet Nibiru survived intact. Maybe not in the best economical shape, but it survived. And then when the planet Earth was formed, the Anunnaki of that planet came to Earth. And that's where they came here to mine gold for their planet. It more or less makes sense. But either way, the Anunnaki are responsible for creating us. They're responsible for our gods and goddesses of the Mesopotamian civilizations, i.e. Sumeria, Acadia, Assyria, Babylon, the Hittites. They all shared some variation of the Sumerian pantheon. Now the Sumerians, they put Marduk, who came in later, with the planet Jupiter. Now if we go to the Babylonian pantheon, Marduk was a number 1. Marduk was responsible for destroying Tiamat and the Horde. And it is said that he had slain Tiamat in half, created the heavens and the earth, which kind of goes into that flat earth business, although I don't subscribe to that either, because why would earth be flat and everything else be a sphere? But I know some people that believe in the flat earth, and I want to be respectful. I don't buy it, but you know, they don't buy the earth as a sphere, so Mexican standoff. So anyway, what does the planet Nibiru have to do with the 49th name of Marduk? Well, for one, let's read what the 49th name, Nebiru, has to say. This is the spirit of the gate of Marduk, manages all things in their ways, and moves the crossings of the stars after the fashion known to the Chaldeans. And in the Necronomicon spellbook, an additional passage was added, to be invoked when you feel a need for order and pattern in your life or in someone else's. When a sense of security and safety is desired or needed, of comfort and well-being and of peace. The Gate of Marduk. That's key number 1. Key number 2. Manages all things in their ways. Number 3. Moves the crossings of the stars. And number 4, a need for order and pattern in your life. These 4 things scream Planet Nibiru to me. The Gate of Marduk. Remember, supposedly, to some theorists, planet Tiamat was next to Mars and Jupiter when it came colliding. Manages all things in their ways. When you have a planet that has a strong gravitational pull, like the Earth and the Moon, which is a bad example because the Moon is supposedly leaving Earth's gravitational field, moves the crossings of the stars. When that whole 2012 nonsense was going on, one of the biggest theories was the planet Nibiru was going to come from under the Earth and over, and then turning Earth upside down, and then orbiting around the sun, and then shooting off. And not to be seen back for supposedly over 4,000 years. Again, I don't agree with Zachariah Sitchin's math, and this technically isn't really the first time that Nibiru has come when Earth was created. If you look up the Coven Bible, the planet Wormwood is mentioned when it came and reduced the Earth to ash. A need for order and pattern. Setting the planets right on their orbit around the sun. Turning the destroyed planet into a new planet that we are on now. Hopefully I'm making sense. If I'm making sense, give this video a thumbs up. So, to me, that just screams the planet Nibiru. Now, when we go back to the Gate of Marduk, remember, he was given 50 powers by the gods. Living entities, living weapons, to destroy Tiamat. And he used those powers to create heaven and earth. In the position of where Tiamat was. Now, I don't know exactly where Nibiru would have been in the original planetary solar cycle, but it's very well possible that it could have been next to Jupiter. Now, it is possible that Nibiru also knocked Neptune or Uranus, the other ringed planet that's on its side. I think it's Neptune. So I'll put that in the comment section, the corrected version on that, so don't worry about that. But it's hard to say because space is the place, and it's a very big place. But now let's get into that gnosis. Now on June 29th at 3:45 a.m. in 2013, I had a personal gnosis moment. And this is what came from it. Glorious golden flare. Sister planet of Rouge. Sister planet of Rouge. That is referring to the planet Nibiru. Because planet Nibiru has been called the Red Dragon. The way it's been supposedly moving, and the debris field that it's picked up over, you know, like how a comet or a meteor gets a tail. And that's kind of what Nibiru, the planet, has. And it kind of looks like wings. And it's fiery red. Distant future. They ride the planet as a charging bull. Now, Sitchin said Nibiru had like a 4,000 year or 40,000 year, I forget which, cycle around the sun. And if we go back to the Coven Bible, which I forget, but you can just look it up on YouTube. And I forget which one I watched. It was on my other channel that I had it saved. But when the planet came and it destroyed that civilization, it was recorded by survivors. And then that's when the supposed flood happened later on. The earth was destroyed by fire and then water. So now you got to keep in mind, civilizations had risen and fallen in between the fire of Nibiru and the flood of take your pick. Quite a big gap between the two. Ride the planet as a charging bull. The Anunnaki. Riding the planet as a charging bull. Now, if you were to look up one of the very many translations of Marduk, Marduk stands for the bull calf. of the sun. That is one of the very many translations of his name. Whether it's accurate or not is to be seen, but the bull is associated with Marduk. Now, dominating space and time. Well, personally, I think that's just another way of saying putting order and pattern from chaos. You know, it's on its own, you know, but that's just what I think of it. Like, it dominates space and time. Like, it creates order out of chaos. It creates, you know, pattern, you know, structure. And that's where we get a sense of security and safety. You know, well-being, peace. You know, when we have structure. So, and plus I read a long time ago how Nibiru is the envoy of Marduk. Now, this is kind of where it gets a little tricky, and I'm not really going to say I know what I'm talking about, but it is said that Nibiru has its own star system. It has its own sun. Now, that's a belief that's part of the binary star system that we in our solar system have. Now, I don't really know. Like, it's a brown dwarf, which is a very dimly lighted star. So that's why it doesn't really register. But, now, if we look at this, Nibiru has its own star system, which would have been the sister star to our sun. Now the sun is Shamash. Shamash is of justice. He goes down, as my brother from the Black Tower said in another brother's video. When Shamash sets every night, he goes to the underworld and he judges, and then he rises up. Something to that effect. And, you know, that's a great perspective to look at it, you know. Shamash is of justice. Now, it is somewhere. I have it saved, and I don't know exactly where, but I have on my history, or not history, but my saved stuff that I've saved over the years on Google. I had saved this article about one of the theories of 2001, A Space Odyssey. One of the theories, scientific theories, because Arthur C. Clarke, if I remember correctly, he wanted everything to be accurate. It's been, well, it's been 9 years. Yeah, it's been 9 years. 2013 was a wild year. Anyway, one of the articles was saying that Jupiter was a failed star. Yeah, was a failed star. Now, I don't know exactly, and I've seen videos here and there on it, on this theory. But I'm going to be honest with you, it's been a long time since I, even bothered to look at that theory. I kind of see Jupiter as, a gas planet. But, so, where was this? Where was I going with this? Back to my, personal gnosis. No, I think that's about it. But yes, Marduk is the bull calf of the sun, which I found interesting in that theory a long time ago, that Jupiter was a failed star. Again, this is all theory, so, but I think I'm going to end this video right here. I said what I needed to say. But when it comes to back to VK's video and his experience with invoking Nibiru or Nebiru, I mean, experiences do vary, yes. And I do know that, and I do agree with him, that each of these 50 names have more than just what is given right here. And when it says to be invoked when you feel the need for order and pattern in your life, a sense of security and safety is desired or needed, or comfort and well-being and of peace. I feel that the planet Nibiru is a physical representation of that. For every death, there is a birth. You cannot create something new without destroying something of old. That is the law of the universe. The universe is doing it right now. The minute I'm telling you this, the universe is doing it right now somewhere. Now, is there anything to fear from this? No. Because I personally feel that by the time Nibiru comes back around to where we can notice it, you and me will be very, very long gone. That's provided if the human race is still moving forward and not backwards. But I'm not going to get into a political debate about that, and I'm going to wrap this video up right now. So I'm going to thank you all for watching. Thank you all for listening. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, please feel free to leave them in the comment section down below. If you want to come find me on social media, My links are in the description. Be sure to click that little bell icon to stay informed. And if you are a practitioner of the Necronomicon and you invoked Nebiru, let me know what you've encountered if you would like to share. I would like to hear about it, because this is certainly come across at a time where I need structure in my life. So if you want to talk about it, let me know. And yeah, love y'all. Bye.